Good morning. My name is Tom Conkle with Optic Cyber Solutions. I want to take a few moments today to talk to you about the Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification, or CMMC. CMMC is a cyber maturity model that was released by the Undersecretary of Defense for Acquisition and Sustainment early in 2020. This is a maturity model that builds on previous DoD requirements for security in trying to help understand the capabilities or the cybersecurity capabilities of organizations within the DoD supply chain. It does expand upon the requirement that was previously just for organizations to do a self-attestation against NIST Special Publication 800-171, and is further expanding that to include the concept of maturity, but leverages a lot of the same security controls and principles. So for organizations that were already implementing 171, it's not too much of a change to meet CMMC requirements as well. The new DFARS rule 252204 went into effect of November 30th. That makes CMMC a requirement for organizations within the defense industrial base or any contractors, subcontractors, or suppliers for DoD. It is a phased rollout approach that is expected to take over the next 5 years. So they're just beginning the rollout of CMMC now in new contracts. How does it mean to get certified to be able to bid on DoD solicitations requiring CMMC now that the new DFAR rule is in effect? So the AB is a not-for-profit organization that is independent of DoD and just helps to work as that liaisons with industry. The AB has established the 10-point steps here that you see on the left as the approach for organizations that are seeking certification and what they need to do through that journey to get to the certification. And you can see that it starts simply by understanding the CMMC requirements and then progresses up to step 3, where we're understanding which maturity level that we need to be certified at. We're doing a pre-assessment so that we understand how well we're currently implementing the practices today, and if we have the process maturity as necessary based on the certification level we're going for. That's done at 4, where we do the pre-assessment. 5, we close any of those pre-assessment gaps. Then in 6, 7, and 8, this is where we go out and find a certifier, ask the certifier to come in and do that independent verification of our security program so that we can work towards certification. I did want to note here that you'll see in step 8 that it says you have 90 days to resolve any findings from the certification. It's key to note here that this is not meant to be a full plan of action and milestone kind of pause, if you will, to put capabilities in place. If you don't have a given capability, for example, access controls, right? You don't have an access control policy when you do have the certifier come in, that will be a finding, and that won't be something that you can implement within that 90 days to demonstrate that the capability is there. And that's primarily because CMMC does have that capability or process in place that says that you have to be able to demonstrate that you've been doing the practices over a sustained amount of time, so that there is that sufficiency of confidence, if you will, that the organization is going to continue to do it. So therefore, if you just write an access control policy as a result of a failed finding, right, the confidence isn't in place to say that access control policy will be followed once the certifier leaves. But what it really is meant for is if there's a anomaly or something that happens during testing, a piece of information is not available, or maybe a key stakeholder is not available for an interview during the certification, the certification team has basically 90 days to come back, fill those gaps to be able to complete their assessment. Once they complete the assessment, the certifier will go through a QA review of the report, work with the AB for validation of the findings and concurrence of the results of the report. And if the AB concurs, that's when the organization at step 10 will be issued their certification at either maturity level 1 or at maturity level 3 in this case, depending on what practices were tested. Those certifications last for 3 years as long as there's no substantial change to the environment. So obviously we're going to patch, we're going to maintain and keep up to date with our environment. But if we change the types of capabilities or the architecture significantly, right, we will void that certification and have to go back through the process. We'll talk a moment about the different roles that the CMMC-AB has established to help us get through those steps. For the first, one of the first roles that they identified that we've already talked about is the OSC, or Organization Seeking Certification. These are those organizations that need to get the maturity level certification so that they can bid on DoD solicitations. Organization Seeking Certification have several other people that are available to help them, including the registered provider organizations, or RPOs. RPOs, organizations that have worked with the CMMC-AB and been registered as providers for CMMC capabilities. So this would give an OSC confidence that if they go out and they ask somebody for assistance in preparing for CMMC, that they understand, the organization that they're requesting services from understands CMMC because they've been vetted and registered with the CMMC-AB. So RPOs are there to help do those pre-assessments, to help implement capabilities and fill gaps that are missing as organizations prepare for certification. If the organization has a lot of the existing process capabilities in place, but just want to be a little bit more aware of what CMMC is and make sure that they're prepared for it. Training is available. Training is available through licensed training providers, or LTPs. And again, CMMC-AB has developed this program to help give organizations confidence that when they go through a training program, that that you can trust it, if you will, and that the information being provided meets the standard as defined by CMMC. So if you're going through training through an LTP, right, you know that that training has been reviewed and meets the criteria for CMMC, and therefore you can take the information from it and go prepare and know that you'll be well on your way to meet the certification for it. The C3PAOs, or CMMC third-party assessor organizations, these are where the certifiers live. These are the assessors that are going to come out and assess an organization to grant a maturity level certification to an organization. I am very proud in the fact that Optic Cyber Solution is an RPO and registered with the CMMC-AB to be able to help organizations do those pre-assessments and prepare for a formal certification. So in addition to those roles, there is a lot of other freely available information out there, and I just wanted to highlight some of these for you. And this information will also be in the description below, so that you'll be able to pull the links directly from there. As I mentioned, the CMMC-AB is putting a lot of resources and capabilities, or helping us understand where we can better prepare for CMMC. And as such, you can find useful information from their website. Specifically, within the CMMC-AB's website is the marketplace. The marketplace is where you can go find those registered provider organizations, those C3PAOs that do the assessment, the LTPs, the training providers, so that you know that the training that's being provided has been, it meets CMMC requirements. So if you get a vendor to help you from the marketplace, you have that additional confidence that at least the CMMC-AB has reviewed and the companies have met the AB's requirements for being able to provide CMMC type services. Okay. And then always, of course, Optic Cyber Solutions maintains a resource page with a lot of different resources there. Specifically, wanted to call out the CMMC version 1.02 profile template. This template does help pull all of the CMMC practices into one place so that you can sort through them based on maturity level or based on their domain to help implement what's capabilities that you have, or define your capabilities and begin writing your SSP. As such, the profile has separate columns to help you be able to define what are the process capabilities that you have in place towards meeting CMMC. Again, if it's level 1, how can you demonstrate that you're just performing it? Level 3, what policies do you have that align to the practices? And then there's a another place in the template to help you define what it is you're doing, right? So that we can say, these are the policies we have, and this is how we've implemented the policies. And then another value that that profile template provides is it does have a mapping to 800-171, so that if you have your existing cybersecurity program was aligned to 171, it's a way to quickly translate from 171 to the CMMC practices to demonstrate where you may need to focus your attention before calling a certifier, if you will. Be happy to answer any questions. Again, my name is Tom Conkle. Feel free, if you have questions, to reach out. Love to hear from you.